Namaskar. I am Vasanta Barve, and today we're starting a new topic, Geogebra. Geo for geometry, Gebra for algebra. This is a wonderful, precious gift given by Marcus Vanewater to us. The software, as you will see, is useful to take care of the geometry and algebra. It includes right up to 12th standard or even first year, second year of engineering courses. Today we'll see what the GeoGebra is. You're right now seeing a screen. Now on left side, you have algebra, and on the right side, you have a graphic screen. Now you'll see that you're seeing X and Y axis. And here, algebra is right now blank. So now I will show you how we start with a point in geometry. So I can just pick this point. See, in this top menu, you have a menu for mouse operation, and you have drop-down menus also. So let us first look at the mouse operation menu. Now here, I pick up this point, and I come down here and put somewhere a point. I'm purposely putting it on the grid so that we get some good simple numbers. Now you can see that here you have a equal to 3, 1. That is x is 3 and y is 1. So 3, 1. See, if I want, I can increase the font size also. So here I go to font size and I make font as 20. You can have any font as you like. Now if I pick up another point, and maybe that I put it here, so I got B. And then I may connect these by a segment. So it is so simple. So I got segment. Now, these points and segments are mixed here. I can separate them by going here to the central arrow and say object type. So you've got these 2 points and here you've got segment. Okay. Now point can also be put in a polar form. In fact, here you have 3 types of grids also. Okay. So if you go here and see the this right now grid is a Cartesian grid. Okay. Now I can go to graphics. So there a small window will open. Now this operation will be quite fast, but because we are in a recording mode, so we are having this particular thing slow. I can separate this menu. I can float this menu here, and then I can see that grid. Okay. Now you have got major, minor grid type. Then you have a polar grid. So if I click on polar, you'll see that you start seeing what you have is a polar coordinate. Okay. So you'll see that from center, you've got these all angles at 30, 60, 90, etc. And it is possible for you to make data entry in polar coordinate also. Then you have the third type of grid known as isometric grid. Now here you'll see that you have got 30 up and 30 on this side, okay, and vertical lines. So you'll see what is known as a hexagonal grid. Okay. Now here data entry is not allowed in this isometric grid, but data entry is permitted in form of polar and the Cartesian. So let us see a polar coordinate, the entry. Now, whatever grid is here, it doesn't matter while you make entry here. So if I just take, say, you have to enclose round bracket and put two numbers separated by comma so that you get a point. So say, let's say 3. And for the Cartesian, you have to put a comma, maybe 3, comma 4. So immediately you are seeing this point. Of course, the grid right now is isometric, but I can switch the grid. But data entry can be there, whatever grid you are seeing, it doesn't matter. In what way you give the data, the entry will be there. So I again go back to this particular thing. And I'll show you how you can operate the polar, coordinates. So right now I'll see that I put 2 colon, you have to put a colon for polar coordinate. And then maybe I put pi by 3. You will immediately see that at 60 degrees, a point has appeared. Okay. So you have got this particular thing. Now I again go to graphics and go back to my grid of Cartesian, major minor axis. And I'll see that this is at 60 degrees that I can show you by polar. Now see this point which I had entered at 60 degrees is exactly at 60 degrees. So it's possible for you to have data entry in two types of grids, the Cartesian major minor grid, major grid, the polar grid, but you have another grid isometric which does not permit any data entry in that form. Now you got 3D also. So you go here and say view 3D graphics. So in addition to this particular graphics, the 3D graphics will also appear. Now in 3D graphics, you are already seeing this particular line. What I will do is I will delete these things so that you get a clean thing. So here you'll see that RGB is the convention. R, X for red, Y, green, and Z as the blue. Okay. Now here, if you put the thing, I can remove this black thing and put a grid instead, right? Or no grid at all. Okay. Possible for that. Now here you'll see that it's possible for you to view it a general view, or you can go here and view from top, view from front, and view from side. But you'll see that here, one of the axes will not be seen. So we normally see the general view. Okay, this is the general. Now, data entry for that will be, you'll see that I put a opening bracket and maybe 1, comma 2, comma 3. So you'll see that it is at 1 in X, 2 in Y, and 3 in Z. Okay. Now this also can be seen. You see, if I see from top, you'll clearly see that it is at 1 and 2. Then you see from side, you'll clearly see that it is 1 and 3. And the third view, you'll see that it is 2 and 3. So this is possible for you to have 3 different views and this particular point here. Okay. Now data entry is also possible in 3D. Okay. Like polar, you have the spherical coordinates. So in spherical coordinate, you have to enter R, let's say 3. Then you have to enter here by a semicolon angle. Maybe I take 45 degrees. So pi by 4. Okay. See, immediately that point has shifted to pi by 4. And I'm rising it up in the third angle, say maybe 60 degrees. So pi by 3. So this is what is spherical coordinate. Okay. So first number is the radial distance. Second number is angle with x-axis. And third number is angle with z-axis. Okay. You have the cylindrical coordinates also. Okay. So you have there r, theta, and z. So I'll delete this point. Otherwise, it might cause some confusion in your mind. So delete this. Now again, I enter in cylindrical coordinate. So maybe I take 2, then semicolon, I give some angle that is in xy plane. Okay, say 45 degrees. Possible for you to put degrees. Here, the degree symbol is available. Okay. So now you got a point at 45 degrees. If you want to check, we'll check it later on. And then we'll put a height of that cylinder. So put comma and maybe 4. I don't know why it is not accepting. Maybe some versions don't accept. But normally you get cylindrical coordinates also. Okay. Now you'll see here this particular view, it's at 45 degrees. Okay. So data entry of point you have seen. Now it's possible for you to take various points. Okay. Now this provides n number of functions. This GeoGebra provides n number of functions. Very, very versatile. So put a question mark here and you see that you have got commands here. Now click here, you will see all different type of commands. Okay, hundreds of commands are available. You can have different types of plots, different type of curves, all trigonometric functions. We see, so all these are included. Then you have conics. Okay, everything is available. And then these are classified also. That 3D, algebra, chart, conic. So what I would suggest is you download GeoGebra Classic 5 from their site. Now here you can see the license which I am using right now. About license. You see right now this is 851. So maybe every month or 2 months you get a newer version with added features. So I would request you that to download this particular software and start using. Today we have covered the topic point. The next session will be covering line, then different shapes, and then we'll go to actual use of GeoGebra in your mathematics problems. Thank you so much. Join me in the next session. Thank you.